Hi students, it's Dr. Cohen. I am making this little video to talk to you about your TED Talk assignments, which I hope you will find helpful. And if you do have any additional questions, please feel free to email me, and we can even set up a time to Zoom together to kind of go over things. I want to start out just to screen share, show you a few things. I've set up my my screen to show you in student view because I feel like that can be challenging. So anyway, so I'm going to go to home, and I'm going to go to the first module, and you see there are all of your perusal readings, which I hope are going better for you. Just a quick reminder, since I'm on about perusal, don't forget that you have to enter perusal from Folio and not from a different online way in order for me to get your grades. And then if you look here, this is the TED Talk overview, which I'm going to go over in a minute. And then this is a link to where you will upload the assignment. You see the assignment is due February 1st at 11 p.m. Assignments are generally due at 11 p.m. Okay, so let's go over the assignment itself. It really, for this initial thing, you're going to select a TED Talk. So you're going to go to TED.com, select a TED Talk that has some kind of connection to aging. So it can be about childhood, but it should be about something related to, age, as in like over time changes. So maybe a good example might be a TED Talk where they talk about the consequences of childhood trauma. Or you might find a video on late life, and perhaps it's something about the things that contribute to a successful late life. So there's a lot of them out there that you should be able to find. And so the first thing is to go ahead and find the video. And then you're going to create a presentation that later on is going to be watched by other students. So the first thing to know is that it's probably best to create this thing over Zoom. And since I'm on Zoom, I'm going to show you a few little pointers about how to do that. But basically, you're going to in a Zoom room, if you can, show the video, make sure the audio is working. That's an important thing. And then students will watch that video. Now, if you choose not to do it over Zoom, let's say you just want to create an audio file where you do your presentation, that should be okay. I'm not sure what you would use for that audio file, but make sure that in your submission, you include a link. So, in the Dropbox, a link to that TED Talk. So just copy and paste the URL so I have it. So anyway, here is an overview. So life course perspective, or cumulative inequality theory. These are for some of the perusal readings. Anyway, so then talk about that. So let's go ahead and look at the grading rubric, and then I'll talk a little bit about how to make the Zoom recording. So the assignment is worth 100 points, or 10% of your final grade. And I'm looking at good organization. You're going to do an introduction explaining what's going to be covered in the presentation, and a conclusion summarizing the key information. My expectation is that you would have either me or students watch the TED Talk first, then your presentation takes place after. You're going to talk about how the presentation correlates with aging. Why is this, and why does this TED Talk have something to do with aging? And aging, if you remember, is like life plus time, right? So it can't just be about adolescence. It has to be about, the effects of adolescence, or how childhood affects adolescence, or how, maybe a really good example is you might find a TED Talk where they talk about resiliency, people that have been through trauma, and how that appears in later life. So there you've got, age plus time. So you're going to talk about how age is portrayed in the TED Talk. And again, people will have watched the TED Talk before they hear your presentation or watch your presentation. Then you're going to talk about how it correlates with either life course perspective or cumulative inequality theory. So you have to talk about how the TED Talk demonstrates either something related to life course or something related to cumulative inequality. Okay, so that's that. And then I wanted to just show you something with regards to screen sharing. Let me just see. I'm not exactly sure how to do this, but if you go at the top and you see where it says share, so you click on that and you're going to share your screen, which I've already done. But at the very bottom is this thing that says, at the very bottom of the box that pops up for sharing, it says share sound. So of all the things you do, you've got to share the sound, because if you're going to do a recording, you're going to have to be able, the students are going to have to be able to hear, and I'm going to have to be able to hear the video. And if you don't click on the little box, which is on the lower left-hand side that says share sound, we will not be able to hear the video. So click on that. The other thing that you should know is it's pretty easy to do a recording on Zoom. You go to the box that says more and you do record, and I would do record on this device so that, and you're probably going to want to do this on a laptop, certainly not on your phone or a tablet. I think it would be harder because when it's over, Zoom automatically converts your video, and then you can upload that. Now, if you upload the video to the Dropbox, which I hope you will do, you're going to have to remember to also include the URL to the TED Talk. Okay, so sometimes students ask, how long should it be? Well, the TED Talk itself might be 10 to 15 to 20 minutes long. Your presentation, as long as you have an introduction, and then you talk about how it relates to aging, and then you talk about how it relates to one of the two theories, and then you have a conclusion that ties it all together. You know, it could be or as long as short as you would like it to be, but I'm going to be looking for that content. So one of the things that I should tell you is always look at the grading rubric, because this is what I use to grade. So here you see, this is the grading rubric in the TED Talks. And again, this document can be found right here, presentation overview. Okay, so that's one part. But remember, I said that it's going to be used in the future. So I just wanted to show you this. This is the discussions overview. Now, discussion 3, where you're going to be using this TED Talk, that doesn't come until February 23rd. And that gives me some time from the time that people submit their TED Talks to the time when you're going to have to view them in order to write a discussion on it. You don't have to repost these. I'll take care of these and I'll post them based on your groups so that all of the presentations for each group, each of you is in a group of about 5 people. So I'll create a place where each person can go and look to see yours will be up there, and then the presentations for other students, and you'll pick one to view. So discussion 3, your initial post is you watching both the TED Talk and the presentation of another member of your group. And then you're going to write 250 words in the discussion about what you learned from the presentation. Your response post is to look to see what other people in your group wrote, and maybe some of them watched your presentation, which is fine. You can see what they wrote about that, or you can look to see, you can also look to see somebody who may have watched a different presentation. And for your response post, you're going to read what the person wrote, and then you're going to, your reflection is to comment on what that person wrote. So that's your response. So remember that discussion posts, so the initial post is the 23rd, the response post is through the 25th. Always remember to follow the grading rubric for discussions. So just a few challenges. Probably the first challenge is to find an appropriate TED Talk. Then to be sure that when you share the screen to show the TED Talk, that you include sharing the sound, And don't forget to record it, right? So you're gonna have to record it, share the sound. Another thing to think about is, when you're done and you've got the video of both the TED Talk and your presentation, just preview it, listen to it. Now, if for some reason the sound didn't come through, you don't have to redo the whole thing. Just include the link to the TED Talk in your Dropbox. So, and you should do that anyway, because if there's any problems, I need to be able to find the TED Talk that you used, okay? So this will be a chance for you to kind of hear what some people have said about different aspects of aging through these TED Talks. And, like I said, they're usually about 10 to 15 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes long. And I will just reiterate that if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, and I'm happy to talk with any of you. And that's true, not just for this TED Talk, but for lots of other things. So good luck. I'm looking forward to seeing what you find and watching all of your presentations. Thank you. Bye now.